Media.
All right. Man, do we have a show for you. First, let's just get started. So, if you're watching this in the future, because I know nobody's here right this second. Sorry, had to put the chat back on top of the window. So, if you're here in the future, that means you might not know exactly what's going on here. I really need to fix this. But we had a bit of a problem, and I solved it. The problem was our contracts kind of glitched out on us. And I had to go through and rebuild everything. Hold on. Before we do that, I have to put that back up a little bit. Here we go. Now what you're seeing here is the unbelted gesture. The gesture's final form, if you will. Let's just enjoy this. This is the gesture's final form. I think the only thing we can do to upgrade it is add asparagus staging, which I'm so close to getting the fuel lines for. And I do think there's engine upgrades available as a little bit later on. Now this flight is to see if we can't transfer to a lunar, or do a lunar transfer. I'm not convinced that this version of the gesture, because we do have another version of the gesture, the jester, that has a little bit more DV to it. But I already had this one built in on the pad. And I thought about doing this as just a recorded video. But I figured I have to stay awake in order to get the kids from the bus in 2 freaking hours. Doesn't make any sense why they have half days when they go for like 2.5 hours. Maybe 3 hours at the most. But literally I sat down before the wife went to work and set my alarm for 11:30 a.m. when they're supposed to be back at 11:50. So I think like they're gonna be gone for a total of 3 hours today. There we go, that's a good view. we lost our boosters. Those should fall back down into the ocean. There, now we get a nice side view of the next stage. Now, you might notice that we have a different engine on here. This is actually a Viking engine. And we have a different upper stage here. The payload is a lot different than what you guys are used to. But during my quest to basically fix the contracts, I was able to go back to the 1961 save file and redo everything up in, or the 1951, sorry. I went back to the 1951 save file and basically replayed everything up to this point, and I was able to take what I learned and basically get us into a better spot. I spent our science a little bit more wisely. I collected science a little bit more wisely. So we're in a much better position than we were previously. And that Viking fires up. Now you guys are getting a first look at that upper stage, which has a G1 engine on it. That G1 engine is pretty efficient. You can see it gets us 4,547 meters per second of vacuum delta V. I don't even remember what science is on this payload. I keep wondering if this is enough. I think it's enough battery. But we have some upgrades on the next version of the Jester. It's still the same engine setups, but we do have better avionics on the next version of the Jester. Yeah, look at that. We have plenty of electricity. We could even lose a little bit in that nose cone. But look at these numbers. Look how gravy those numbers look. Now, one of the things that makes this effective is the fact that we do have two avionics cores. We have a science core and avionics core. Now, if we get to an orbit that we want to collect a lot of science at, we can shut this down. We can shut this avionics core down once it's no longer used, and it saves us a ton of electricity. Now, the goal of this mission is to try to get within 5,000 kilometers of the moon. So as long as we have about 3,500 meters per second left, we can go a little bit down below that. But we need between 3,100 and 3,500 meters per second left in that stage once we circularize to make the transfer to the moon. Now, I don't think this is the best setup to do for this. This was just already on the launch pad. So, All right, now there's some tools that we have at our disposal here that I don't know how to use really. So let's rendezvous planner. A new orbit at, let's say, 4,000 kilometers. $3,000, I think. Hold on a second. Let's focus our view. That's really good for the impact. What if we do 4,500? Alright, well, there's that. But that's a little bit more delta V than we get. Alright, so what if I do maneuver node editor? So prograde radial. So what if I change this to nothing seems to work. So what if I do it here? $33.76. Ooh, okay, hold on, what's this? Alright, let's pull that down. Whoops. Didn't mean to click. That's 192. $64,000. Let's drop that even lower. Whoops. What was the contract for? 5,000 kilometers. I mean, I think that's pretty good. Now, what does that do for... So now, what if... Hold on. So 5,000 kilometer is 50,000 meters. So I'd like to have this at a comfortable, the 16 or 18 kilometers. 8 kilometers. We'll see what that does. Alright, so is it the planner? Did our batteries die? Yep, our batteries died. Alright, so yeah, this design is not suitable for what we're trying to do. You know what? It's not going to recharge unless we turn the avionics off. If we turn the avionics off, then we don't have control. Alright, let's get serious. Let's get serious. So let's open up the lunar flyer. So this has 13,239 meters per second of usable delta V. Let's see what we have going on up here. Should be a single core setup up here. Yeah, see. That controllable mass is awful close, but it should work. Let's configure the experiments better. I don't think we can use that, so let's do a radiation detector and a TV camera. So what does that do for our electricity? I'd like a little bit more electricity than that. Let's do 500. But we also have to keep an eye on our delta V numbers. Okay, so let's do that. That's 2 hours. I'd prefer do I have any better? Ranger solar panels. Hold on. We might be onto something here. Hey! Message retracted? Zanny, are you saying naughty things in the chat? How could you do such things? I don't believe you would do such things. Okay, so now let's see about this. Come on now. So that gives us 6 hours and 49 minutes. So let's put... That gives us a day and 12 minutes. Let's see if we can't squeeze in one more. That gives us perpetual electricity. And it didn't really consume our delta V all that much. Now the other thing I can do is that, because we really don't need all of that propellant. Because that's nitrogen. So we are running on, you know what we could do? Actually, no, we can't. I thought we could switch to HTP, but we do not have that available. We could switch to nitrous oxide. That gives us a little bit of a boost. Oh, that took away some of our DV. What the hell? Where did I just get that then? Oh, there it is. So if I go back to helium, so that's 5,339. 5,204 with helium. I think we'll do helium on this one. Although... yeah, we'll do helium. I think helium's I think helium's the right way to go here. Fill helium. All right. Now let's see with these modifications. Three 13,239 meters per second of usable delta V. Let's just double check some things real quick. That's 5.6 tons, and we are rated for 6 tons, 500 units of electricity. Wait a minute, can I cut that down to, let's say, 300? What if I cut that down to 200? Alright, now the next thing we have to worry about is communications. Test, Aptol. Thanks for dropping in. We are playing some RP1 right now. KSP RP1. RP1 is the mod that turns regular KSP into a more realistic space simulator. So what we're doing now is we're configuring our probe. This probe is going to be on its way to the moon. It is going to be, in fact, it's going to be our very first, whoops, attempt at shooting at the moon. 11 point, wait, what? Hold on. I gotta fix our staging anyway. So let's get rid of that. We know our electricity's good now. This needs to be down here. Why it's not, I don't know. Alright, so engines fire, it decouples. Oh, I need to zoom out, thank you. Then those decouple. So then, where's this one? Okay, so this has to be down here. Oh, our delta V jumped way up. Look at that. Who knew when you know, configure your staging properly that you get more delta V? So where's this one at? So can I lose this? I think we can lose that. I think that was left over from an old design. Alright, so that's the best engine we have on that. And that is the best engine we have available for those. Alright, so primary engines fire up. The ground support, let's go. 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the flight, we lose the boosters. And then we lose the coupler there. The Viking stage fires. Shortly after the Viking stage fires, we lose the cowling and activate the RCS thrusters, which I think we could just put these all on the same stage, truthfully, because that turns all of that on. Then we lose the Viking engine stage and we run strictly on the G1 engine. Now, the other thing I wanted to know, the RD... Those are all ram jets and turbojets. What is that? Huh. Is that a solid booster? Yeah, it is a solid booster. Okay. So... those are solid boosters. Let's see. I'm looking... ah, there's the Viking. I think I'm using the Viking 4B, because the Viking 5 is significantly worse. The Viking 2. Already 215. I think ground supports. No, you don't need ground supports for that. That's 869. Where the Viking, I'm using the 4B. 882. 721. Is the Viking throttleable? No, it's not. I'm wondering if the RD-219 would be a better... It's 0.76. It's lighter. Oh my goodness. 869. 882. Do you need ground supports for either of those? I'm thinking maybe we use these engines in our next rocket. Because the only problem I have... The only problem I really have with the Viking is that it burns super fast. You do get a ton of delta V for it. I mean, it's packing 3,500 meters per second. But that 3,500 meters per second is expended in less than a minute and a half. Which I guess is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but... Alright, so the unbelted gesture Luna Flyer. We're going to save that. We're going to put it into the... Oh, wait, we got to... Hold on. I always forget to tool the parts. Alright, so we are now... We can scrap that one, yes. Luna Flyer will be ready. Let's go see how many months this is going to take. Hello, Zanimations. I don't know why on mine it says message redacted, but on my stream monitor it says hello there. Well, hello there, good sir. So let's pull up this. It's going to be ready in November of 61, and it is currently September, October, November. So it's going to take 2 months. Do I have full staffing on this? We have 603 out of 603, yeah. Yep, we have full staffing. So, in the meantime, I can... No, it just says a small biological experiment. I don't know if these are worth doing because they're optional. Let me go... The only reason we still have that contract is because I learned that we're still getting funding for it. So I don't want to end the contract until we get closer to the red line, or at least to the peak when the funding starts running out. Same with this one. Early satellites, we've completed it, but if we close the contract, we miss out on all this glorious funding. So we'd miss out on 1, 2, 3, 4 grand, 400,000, 400,000-ish. So that's the reason, that's one of the ways that I was able to boost up our money as much as I have, is when I replayed it, I stopped canceling, or I stopped completing the programs early. Yeah, we'll do a nighttime launch. Why not? There's no reason to. By the way, if you guys are dropping in for the very first time, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. It helps us out so much. So we're going for a 200 by 200 parking orbit before we attempt a lunar transfer. So we're going to engage the autopilot. We're going to keep an eye on our electricity. All of our staging should be good. 3, 2, and a 1. Hold on, let's 3, 2, 1, go. She does start off a little bit slow, but that's because we have packed this girl as heavy as possible. We literally can't even afford to spit on this thing. As she does her rotation, she does that rotation in preparation for the gravity turn. Actually, I don't need to rotate the camera. I did perfect. Now, as we burn fuel out of those boosters, our thrust to weight ratio actually goes up pretty fast. Those boosters are really just to help get us above the atmosphere. And we're saving up our science points to unlock the fuel lines, which hopefully gets us some asparagus staging. I don't know how our solar panels have 9% exposure when they're inside the fairing. That's pretty interesting. Look right here. If you look right here, solar panel exposure's at 12%, and it's inside the fairing. I guess being inside the fairing at nighttime, we got some serious solar power going, if that's the case. We have 5 minutes of electrical charge left, but that is okay, because in 18 seconds we will be using our next battery. Staging event, and those boosters love to fall away nice. We have another minute and a half on this engine. Oh, I forgot I took those other batteries off, but still, we still have way more battery in this stage than we actually need, which we could cut that charge down a little bit and save some weight. That would increase our delta V by a tiny amount. We're going, our apoapsis is up to 117. We're going really nice. We're speeding up rather quickly. See, now that we're above the atmosphere, we only need this one main engine above that thick part of the atmosphere down here. Alright, staging event. That Viking engine fires up. Now we're on the Viking stage. And look at that, the next battery gives us 10 minutes of electric charge, which is still way more than we need. We only really need 3 minutes. Now, if you guys are just dropping in for the very first time, what we're trying to do is get into a stable orbit. Luke! Surprise stream, Luke! What we're trying to do is get into a stable orbit with at least 3,500 meters per second left, because we need at least 3,500 meters per second to do a lunar transfer. Which it's looking pretty good so far. If we can get this number down to the low 2s or the high 1s on the Viking stage, we'll be sitting really nicely. But it's looking like we might be in the high 2s to the low 3s. That Viking burns really, really fast. So, Luke, since you're just dropping in, I have fixed all of our problems with the contracts. And restart. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Mid-2s. We were in the mid-2s. So I fixed all of our contracts. I had to go back to 1951 in order to fix the contracts. But I found out that the satellite contracts is an either-or situation. So I think what happened is that we picked and we completed the light contracts mission, and something glitched out and wouldn't let us pick any more contracts. And I went through and redid everything twice. And this is the result. We are on the lunar contracts now. So our contract is to get a lunar flyby of at least 5,000 kilometers and maintain electricity and transmit science back to the KSC. So I'm hoping we have everything set up to do that. If this gets into a comfortable orbit with at least 3,500 meters per second left, we can get to the moon. If it can get over 4,000 meters per second left, we should be able to go to the moon, collect science, and come back to transmit that science. So on this, oh, there we go. We've achieved orbit and stable orbit. All right, so let's disengage that. Let's see if we can't get a lunar transfer. Set as target. Now, we do have a rendezvous planner. Now, what was the contract? Oh, come on, McJub. So, 5,000 kilometers. I mean, intercept with a home-in transfer. That uses up 30,161 meters per second, which would give us about a little over 1,000 meters per second left. But what I want to do is take this and focus our view. Now, if I come over here, batteries and solar panels on, avionics off. Yes! Now, something else cool. Let me finish this real quick. So 144 meters, 144,000 meters. So 5,000 kilometers is 500,000 meters or 50,000 meters. What? I kind of want to tighten that up a little bit. Tweaky! So this is indeed a surprise. It is. I did this on purpose. I did it on purpose because I was going to just do a video and post the video today. But I was like, what fun is that? Let's try and surprise everybody. Alright, let me... So that's 5 million meters? So we should be good on this. I think we should be good. So, let's... What was it? The maneuver planner, I think? Then the other thing is we need to keep an eye on electricity. Insufficient avionics? Why are we insufficient avionics? Alright, so this should... Sup! I'm just waiting for this rocket launch to happen. There's another rocket launch going on today? See, I don't know these things. Oh, and we're using new solar panels. Check these out. Check these babies out. I was going to show you guys something, and I already forgot what it was. I already forgot. Talking to myself? Nah. We've had Zanimation, Aptol. We've had a couple of lurkers, because I know we have a lurker. We always have at least 2 lurkers coming and going, which is cool. I don't like pressuring people. I'm a lurker when I watch. Because 9 times out of 10, what I do is when I'm watching someone stream. What? Oh, the engine sound threw me off a little. A lot of the times what I do when I watch people stream or anything is I'll come in and say hey, and then I kind of put my phone down and just watch, or I do chores while I watch. So I don't mind the lurkers. You just look up the launch schedule. I'm such a bad nerd. The next one after today is going to be on the 6th at 7 p.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, I'm a really bad nerd. I always catch up with my launches and everything after they're done. But in my defense, most of the time I'm sleeping right now. The only reason I'm actually live right now is because the kids have a half day for today and tomorrow, and then they're done with school for the year. So, what that means for me is that they leave for school at 8 a.m. and then they come back at 11:50 a.m. So there's no point in me trying to sleep right now. If I sleep right now, there's a chance I might not wake up for them, which would make me a horrible parent, and we can't have that. Oh, there it is. But, oh, okay, so the other thing that I have to go back over is I had to, in order to fix the contract glitch, I had to restart. I had to go back and load the 1951 save that we had. But that did give me the opportunity to fix a bunch of the mistakes that I made moving through the 1950s. So we are actually way better off than we were before. I did learn how to use the F12 menu, but I could not figure out how to manipulate contracts in the F12 menu. So I just went back to 1951, and I spent all day Monday basically redoing every contract up to this point. And I launched so many biological samples and TV cameras and film returns. Alright, let's see. Alright, so what is that at? I would really like that to be better. I mean, it's still within the contract, I think. So that's 982 kilometers. And that's within 5,000 kilometers. So, I mean, that should be okay, right? Bro went back in time to change the space flight history. I did. I had to fix the future. Now, one of the coolest things about this probe is, watch this. I can actually put our avionics in sleep mode. And now watch this. Because the avionics are in sleep mode, we're not using any battery for it. So the battery's going to start charging all the way back up. And then once I need the avionics, I can pull them out of sleep mode. And then we'll have plenty of battery to run the avionics. So, what if I do this? Hold on. Add a maneuver. Oh, I can't add a maneuver while the controls are locked. What a stupid thing. That's okay. So, yep, our electric charge is full. Where are we at with this? Okay, so what I want to do is time warp until we hit the Mun sphere of influence. Oh, look at how much science we're transmitting. Ha ha! Ah, glorious. Just glorious. Although I don't know where the science is coming from. Alright, so hold on, let's... Yep. Our first lunar flyby. But we're still not getting science out of this. Really? Huh. That is strange. We should be getting a boatload of science off of this. Where's the moon, by the way? Oh, there it is. Okay. I mean, we are getting a good... That's almost 30 science credits that we've gotten for this mission. Oh, it's because I accidentally time warped past our flyby, isn't it? Yep, I accidentally time warped past the flyby. Also, crazy thing, yesterday somebody tried robbing a bank in my city and took hostages. Holy shit. Maybe I should have went back in time to fix that. It was a whole shitbag. Is it the tracking station? Yes! Our tracking station is upgraded past what it was before. So, I'm curious to know if this is gonna continue. We're still transmitting science. I'm curious to know... Oh, it's because there's no storage space. Okay, okay, I see what's happening. So if we leave this up here, it's going to continue transmitting the science as space becomes available. Because look, we have full signal, so it's just transmitting. We're going to leave that alone. But yes, here we go. Historical information. On October 14th, 1947, U.S. Air Force pilot Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier in the Bell X-1 that he nicknamed the Glamorous Glennis. The rocket-powered aircraft was dropped from the bomb bay of a B-29 and achieved a speed of Mach 1.06, 361 meters per second. That is pretty awesome. Uncrewed altitude record, lunar flyby uncrewed. Now, let's go see. This is what our tech tree looks like now, because I was able to gather much more science, and I was able to spend it wisely. So what I did is I just launched rocket after rocket with biosamples and film cameras, and then I got as much of the rocket tree as I could. I think I stalled out right here for a little while, because with these ones you have to have like this done before it lets you have that. So I basically just bounced between science and rocketry for the first little while, and then I know here soon I don't know where it is. Where is it? That's the RTGs. Ah, look at this right here. And we have enough science. We're going to research. Because we might be able to do asparagus staging now. Which, game changer. Alright, so let's go see what our next contract is. Oh, and the other thing that I did a lot differently this time was... Alright, let's go here. So I learned that you don't want to shut your program down even if it's completed, because we're still getting funding, a large amount of funding right now. So if I was to complete this program, we would miss out on all this funding right here. And I finished this program back here. So from here all the way up to here is just free funding. So yeah, I want to wait until the last possible second before this red line to finish that. Same with this one. This one is completed. We completed it way back here. But this is all free funding. So I don't want to finish this contract until somewhere in right before that red line. And then this one, you can see, is a lot of funding. And we're going to be done with this. I mean, we just did a lunar flyby. And we only have 2 more missions left in this contract before, or in this program before that's completed too. So we're gonna take a good advantage of that. The tracking station is upgraded. I also upgraded the administration building. I upgraded mission control and the astronaut complex. So, whoops, I didn't mean to actually click that. I meant to right click. That was my B. Yeah, I was able to be a lot smarter on this playthrough. But we do need a lot more funding before we can do another upgrade on that. That's fully upgraded. That's fully upgraded. Now, the other thing I learned is that just because it says fully upgraded doesn't actually mean, like, yeah, we can even do another upgrade on the administration building, but I don't want to use the money for that just yet. So that's where we're sitting at now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and then go down to early lunar probes, and now we have to come up with a lunar impactor, uncrewed. Let's see. Complete all of the following. Launch a new vessel, uncrewed. It must have electric charge. We already tested that system out. Must be at least 40 kilograms. The moon altitude has to be below 3,500 meters and at the speed of 2,500 meters per second. Okay, so let's take that contract. Rocket launch got pushed back at 1 hour and 30 minutes. Build a bigger launch complex. I can't right now. Because what it is in RP1, the launch complex has minimums and maximums. So the current launch complex is the LCXL, and I can only build vessels within these parameters. So, for example, if I wanted to take this off and just build the upper stage for some reason, you can see that it falls under the minimum ton limit. So I can't build anything outside of these parameters. It has to stay inside the parameters. But we do have something to check on. Cancel. We do have... Oh, whoops, wrong button. Where would it be? Fuel tanks? Oh, that's right. It's getting researched. That's right. That's right. That's right. Now, what we do need to make sure... take this off. What is the weight of this? 5.7 tons. And it has to be... I would imagine that 5 tons is more than 40 kilograms. No, we don't have relay technology yet, Luke. Trust me, that's been on my mind a lot. So to my metric friends in the chat, I'm assuming that 5 tons is greater than 40 kilograms. Oh, but Tweaky, my good friend, the G1 engine is relightable. Let's go show you the G1. The G1. Where's my G1 at? Oh, I can't remember where the G1 is. The G1 engine is unlimited ignitions. Look at that. The G1 engine offers unlimited ignitions, and we can use our RCS thrusters to create ullage. So let's say we're floating in the vacuum of space. My ears perked. Yes, the G1 is relightable, unlimited. So I've also figured out how to set up our RCS thrusters to provide ullage. So what that means is if we shut the engine down and coast, and we're out in the vacuum of space and we don't have ullage, the RCS engines will fire up first to create the ullage needed to fire the G1 engine. The V8, I have the mod downloaded, but it doesn't work. There's a few mods that I have downloaded that don't work, and I don't know enough to troubleshoot it. So let me just double check all this real quick. That's all good. That's all good. Save, management, plans, there. So let me show you. The other one that I have that I can't figure out how to fix is the scatter. Because when I load it, it says that Parallax the scatter mod is false. But it's active. So I don't know. I don't know enough to play with it, and I'm scared if I mess with stuff that it's going to stop working completely. But yeah, I have a few mods that they're in the game, like Eve. I don't know how to mess with any of this. I really just don't know enough. They don't recommend parallax. Huh, maybe that's why. One step closer to the moon. Oh, we're going to the moon. Yeah, that's my problem is I don't know enough. Okay, so I think we need to get some more researchers. We have 75 applicants, so I'm going to hire 100. Actually, I'm going to hire a few hundred. That'll eat into our money quite a bit, but we have 3 programs going, so I'm hoping that'll be okay. But this won't be done until 1963. Man, I'd like to, maybe later on when we get the next program, we'll have enough funding to change that. Use RSE for RP1. So how close are we to crewed space flight? I honestly think we could probably do either... I'd like to believe that we could do a suborbital launch. Hold on. Before we time warp our life away. So I can take the Mercury capsule. If I take the Mercury capsule... Well, actually... just for giggles, let's do this. If I put the Mercury capsule on top of that, there we go. So if I just stuck the Mercury capsule on top of that, that's a nice suborbital flight. That might even get us into a Leo, a really good Leo. So conceivably, I think once we unlock those fuel lines and find out if asparagus staging works in RP1, because if that works in RP1, we are 2 years away from manned space flight. Actually, I can just do this. Don't save. So I think we're like 2 years away. Yeah, 10K is kind of on the, it's on the cusp. I think if we set our orbit to like 150 by 150, we would conceivably be able to, get into low Earth orbit with a crew of 1. But the other thing I don't know yet that's going to take a little bit of playing around is I really don't know how to set up the life support systems. I don't know that yet. I don't think it's going to be too difficult to figure out, but it's just something I've never played. I haven't had to play with. This is as far as I've ever gotten in RP1, which I'm pretty proud of. I almost gave up. Almost gave up. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing on this one. Destination is the moon. So we're going to do a 200 by 200 parking orbit. And then we'll transfer to the moon on stage 0. And you're doing good. Thank you, Tweaky. 10K. I'm not there yet either. I think you might have to use the service module tank. Yeah, I'm 100% not sure. I think it's going to... Once I do get to that point, because what I think is going to happen is I need to unlock those fuel lines to test on the gesture if asparagus staging works effectively. If it works the similar way as to regular KSP, if it does, the next thing I'm going to do is start trying to figure out the life support systems and get a crew going.
More cameras, more science!
Space waits for everyone, because it doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, there was a brief moment there where I was like, maybe I'm just not cut out for RP1. And then I think we were stuck in a glitch, honestly, because those contracts should have been done. And what I learned from a Reddit thread is that there's 2 contracts back to back. There's the satellite contract light and early satellites heavy, but you can only do one of those 2. So if you pick light, then you can't do heavy. If you pick heavy, you can't do light. But the game was registering that I hadn't done either one, and it wouldn't let me move to the next program. The space agency is Apollo's Aeronatic Science and Space Exploration System. ASSIS for short. Everyone who works under the ASSIS flag. But I think the Jester offers a really good platform for testing the asparagus staging system. And I am really happy with the engine setup here. Like, I have been tempted to change the Viking engine out for a more efficient engine. Okay, so there is somewhere. Yeah, because I haven't messed with life support outside of regular KSP. And the life support systems in regular KSP are non-existent, really. Just like I think we have to do food and water too. I'm pretty sure RP1 makes it to where you have to have, or the RO, the Realism Overhaul mod, I think makes it to where you have to have food and water for the Kerbals as much as oxygen. Overall, I love this mod. It took a little bit to understand how to play it, because it's a little bit different than regular KSP as far as, you know, doing contracts go. But once you get a handle on it, it's not so bad, because the mistake I was making before was once I completed a program, I finished the program. And I didn't realize that once you finish the program, you no longer get the funding for that program. So I was basically throwing money out the window. And that put us really far behind on funding, which being behind on funding meant that we couldn't do as many rocket launches, and because we couldn't do as many rocket launches, we weren't gathering up enough science. Oh yeah, and radiation. I didn't even think about that. That's another good point that I don't know how to deal with, is the radiation. I did the same. Yeah, it's something that you don't realize, because the way that I play regular KSP is and when I play career mode, all I do is try to get as many contracts in one launch as possible. So, like, for example, if you have a contract to gather science in low Kerbin orbit, I'll take that contract, and then plant a flag on the Mun, I'll take that contract, and then rescue someone from the orbit of the Mun, I'll take that contract. I'll basically take every contract that leads me to the Mun and back. And the barbecue roll, yes, the barbecue. Man, now you're making me hungry, Tweaky. I want barbecue now. That's how we deal with it. Apparently you can recycle O2 and water. Yes, I have heard of such things. Denser hull alloy prevents radiation penetration. Luke said penetration. Sorry, I'm not mature enough for that word. But yeah, the Gesture, I think, is a perfect rocket for what we're doing here. I wouldn't mind. I tried making it look prettier, but the problem I had was that making it look prettier increased the weight, which dropped us on our delta V considerably. So I sacrificed looks for function. That's one of the big differences that I have with Mike Aben. Mike Aben is form over function, and I'm function over form. I don't mind if it looks goofy, as long as it works as good as it can. Once we get better engines and farther down the line, I wouldn't mind, prettying it up a little bit, but getting the mission done takes priority. But I hate the testing contracts in stock, like activate the engine by staging at some velocity, and yeah, dude, I don't take those. I don't take testing contracts most of the time. Most of the time I focus on gather science from this spot, or plant a flag in that spot, or transmit science from here. I'll also do a lot of... I'll do quite a bit of the tourism contracts too, just because the reason the tourism contracts are great is because once you have a rocket with, like, let's say 20,000 meters per second of delta V, you can go anywhere. So I'll load up a rocket with like 10 tourists, each paying like $2 million to $5 million each to go somewhere, and I'll just do a circuit wherever they're going. Oh, you want to go to the moon? Okay, let's go to the moon, and I'll take all of the tourists to each destination. Water is H2O. Break the O2 off and make oxygen and H2 fuel. Yeah. I do have another piece of technology ready to be used with the RTGs, but I'm not 100% sure how to set them up yet. All right, so we have our orbit. It's finishing it up. I don't want you to burn those. Don't use up my RCS. All right, let's double check the batteries. The batteries are good. Video imaging is running. That'll be done here in 20 minutes. And I'm pretty sure we're going to spend more than 20 minutes at this orbit. So let's set as target. Now, how did we do that? We went here. We went to the rendezvous planner. Intercept with a home and transfer. Now let's take that off. Focus our view here. Now that's going to use 3,141 out of the 4,210 we have. See, we're over budget again. I love being over budget. Maneuver planner. I don't know why I turned it off when I still needed to do this. Execute next node. See, I learned my mistakes. Just like I could probably switch out the temperature scan and the pressure scan, but I think there's still science to grab in those areas around the moon. Yeah. Look at that! Restarting the engine. Isn't it beautiful? Alright, we're going to let her do her maneuver. And no, to answer everybody's question, I know it's on all of your minds, I don't feel like using McJeb as cheating. I don't. Everybody who's been here for a while knows I can do this manually if I wanted to. But this saves so much time. It is beautiful. It's so beautiful. We have a good engine. In all honesty, I could put more fuel in this upper stage because the thrust to weight ratio, I don't know what it is for RP1 and with the RSS and everything, But I know you can go as low as like 0.25, between 0.25 and zero point 0.5 for your thrust to weight ratio in a vacuum and still get pretty good maneuverability out of it. The PVG settings are pretty easy. I'll show you how to do that on the next launch. All right, so we are going to need a small mid-course correction, which is okay. So what we'll do, let's put the mid-course right here. Why are the controls locked? Did McJeb put this in sleep mode? No. McJeb did not put this in sleep mode, so why are my... There we go. Alright, so... Let's do that. Now, if I go to... Is it this one? And this one. Alright, so let's shut that down. Electric charge is still so good. Oh, I love this craft. A thin metal hull blocks alpha radiation. You need a denser hull alloy to block gamma radiation penetrating. And turning your crew into microwave meals. Is the tracking station... No, the tracking station is upgraded. I think it has more to be upgraded. But, it's fully upgraded right now. Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? And we still have perpetual electricity. Which means that nothing we are going to do. Yeah, it keeps saying that the avionics are locked, but it's still doing the maneuvers. So it's a little confusing. Cracking a cold one this early? Oh, it's just a sody pop. It's nothing hardcore. It's because I had to, my kids drank all my ice water. I usually have a jug of water in the fridge. And my children drank it all. So right now my choices for drinks are either lukewarm water or milk, or my wife's sody pops. Hey, we're doing this entire maneuver with just RCS. That's actually pretty cool. We're draining our helium, but my second apple can. Man, I want some apple tea now. Luke made me want. I used to really love apple tea and peach tea. Now, I'm really hoping we don't use all of our RCS thrust, because I'd like to have some for oleage. Oof. Okay. Where's our moon at? There's our Earth. I think it's right there. Maybe. You would think it'd be obvious. I'm allowed to, though. It's in the middle of the afternoon. Oh, hard ciders. Oh, that makes me even more jealous. What soda? It's an ice cold Pepsi. Alright, we are ballistic now. We no longer have oleage because the RCS is empty. So, let's hope we have enough velocity. Oh wait, are we losing electricity? No. Okay. What is the warning for? Alright, so since we don't have that, we might as well put the avionics to sleep. That'll save us on electricity, right? Okay. Now the other thing I'm curious to know is what science we're going to get out of this. I'm kind of curious. It's kind of weird that we're not getting any science at this altitude. Alright, so now we need to make sure we keep an eye on... Oh, I don't think we're gonna have the velocity to fill this contract. It's going to be close. We might be able to get it. Oh, look, we're getting some gamma ray science. All right, I think we have the velocity. What? We had electricity. What? What? So I've been watching clips of a mod that allows multiplayer for, and already we got some people stealing space stations from each other. That would be great. That would be awesome. The only thing I've ever thought about it with multiplayer is how would you go about doing time warping? Because if one person launches a rocket and wants to time warp to a specific event for a maneuver, you would have to have anybody else playing do the same thing. Sorry. That one took forever. Excuse me. All right. How's our research coming? Not too bad. We are bleeding money, though. We are bleeding cash out pretty severely. Oh, look, it's going back up. Oh, shit. Whoops. Alright, hold on. Before we do anything else, complete that. That one's still got time left. That one's still got time left. Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm kind of curious in how they effectively. What's EDL? EDL speed? I don't know what EDL is. Actually, I think I'll take that. Do a crude orbit. It's possible, Tweaky. I would love to see how they do it. All right, so after this launch, let's clear that. Let's, no, rolling out. Okay. Let's do this launch and pass or fail. No matter what, we'll start designing a crewed vessel after this. Just for Jiski. All right. So, ascent guidance active. So PNG, or the PVG settings. So basically, all you have to do, this is some more advanced stuff that you can mess with if you need it. All you have to do is type in everything that you want. So for example, the early shut-off stage, if you have a stage where you want it to shut off early, you can choose unguided stages if you have anything unguided that doesn't have avionics. You can set up your coast stage for how many seconds. Foliage lead time. Basically, it's pretty self-explanatory on all this. I don't know what pitch, I don't know what any of that does. But the helpful part about the PNG or the PVG settings is you can set your exact apo and periapsis. That's basically all I use it for. So this is your default settings, and if you want to go, you just click the PVG settings and it'll trade it out for the apo and periapsis targets. So you just basically type in your targets and make sure that your apoapsis is equal or greater, or equal to or greater than your periapsis. Because if you put in an apoapsis that's lower, MigJeb is going to tell you that you can't do that. So as long as your apoapsis and periapsis are equal to or proper, I haven't really ever messed with anything else, really. But then you engage your autopilot. And let it go. Yes, like trying. Yes, we are doing our best work here. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, we are so close to 250 subscribers, which puts us halfway to 500. Killing it! We're going to do this launch and try to fulfill this contract. Pass or fail on, because that last one, there should have been zero reason we didn't get that contract. We had electricity. So this time, what I'm going to do different is, actually I want that down there, is I'm going to switch to retrograde prior to the impact. Maybe impacting engine first will make the contract happy. KCD2. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've heard really good things about that. Now, what I do know is that once we complete RP1 completely, I have another series planned that'll combine Kerbal Space Program and a game called Stationeers. Basically, we're gonna strand Jebediah or whoever. I might even use RP1, but we're gonna strand one of our Kerbals on Mars and then go play a Mars survival game where we have to try to escape Mars and get back to Kerbal. I'm thinking about trying to do a partial cinematic series with that. I just have to figure out camera angles and how to record and play at the same time. That's the only thing that I'm working on trying to figure out for that one. We're doing Subnautica on Sundays. I wouldn't mind trying Subnautica 2, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've watched a couple people play it, and I'm not super impressed with it. Like, I still want to play it, but I still feel like Subnautica 1 was better. We have a new game that I wouldn't mind playing on stream at least once, which is called Star Rupture, which is a pretty cool build 'em game. It's kind of like Satisfactory in a way. Let's see, what else do we have on the menu? Actually, hold on. I need to finish Star Wars. I need to finish out the Halo series. Vane, that's pretty much done until they do some kind of update. Subnautica is going to get done. We have Star Rupture. Windrose, I've already beaten it, but there's just not a whole lot of cinematic value there. Sword of the Stars and Stellaris, those are my relaxing games. They're, what do you call them? Real-time strategy games. This one is a RTS, and this one is a turn-based strategy. Yeah, that's about it. Stationeers, like I said, that one's going to be coming up once we finish out RP1. I haven't played Sub 1 yet, however, as great Sub 2 is, it's still lacking on things. Exactly. Oh, KSP. So I do have a cinematic series for Space Engineers that I've been writing for about a year or 2 years now. I have that ready to go. The only thing that I haven't figured out on that one yet is I need a camera. I need a different camera angle. I haven't figured out the cameras on that. but I do own Space Engineers. I've played it quite a bit. Where is my Space Engineer? Oh, Space Engineers right there. I do have that. I love that game. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I could tell you the greatest game I've ever played. I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know if I could classify any game that I've played as the greatest. I certainly have groups of favorites. KSP's at the top of the list. Space Engineers is at the top of the list. Skyrim is at the top of the list. Fallout 3 is at the top of the list. Honestly, Stellaris is not a bad choice, even though I still haven't figured out how to play the mid-game very well on that one yet. Trying to think. I've certainly put... I think we've gotten almost 600 hours, between 500 and 600 hours total in KSP. I've put quite a bit of time into City Skylines. That game's addictive. Look at that clean separation. Ugh. So graceful. Yes. Ready or Not. Not only is it on the Steam list, but it sits comfortably right here, next to Species Unknown. Both of these are great games. They're just... The only problem I have with Species Unknown is it's super grindy. Like, you have to grind out 10 to 20 missions to get upgrades. Even doing the hard ones, you have to do quite a bit of it. That's the only reason I haven't played them on stream yet. Not only am I pretty much addicted to Kerbal Space Program, which makes it hard for me to rip myself away to play anything else, but some of the other games that I do enjoy playing are rather grindy. Space Engine. Space Engine? I've never heard of that one. Hold on, while McJeb's doing his thing, let's take a peek. Space Engine, huh? The world's first science-based, photorealistic 3D platinum that models the entire universe in the precision generated on uncharted areas. So how do you play it? Do you just explore? Visit distant worlds, okay. So do you just explore? Is it just a purely go around and explore game? Oh, there you go. Now I see some stuff. Alright, you know what? I'm putting that on the wish list. That looks pretty dope. Is it not completed or may not change? Billions of galaxies, nebulous stars, planets, all shown more full. Explore Earth. Yeah, why not? We'll put that in there. Whoops. I want to go here. We'll put that in there. All right, let's see where we're at here. Rendezvous planner. No. Maneuver planner? Ah, it was a maneuver planner I was looking for. Target map. Was it the rendezvous planner? Home and transfer. Alright, so we still have plenty of Delta V. Let's execute the node. Okay. Elite Dangerous. I've seen a lot of it played, but I have not played it myself yet. I really would love to, though. Hell Let Loose Vietnam. Dude. I've seen a couple of people playing what do you call it? The early keys that they give creators to showcase the game. And I'm excited for it. I hope they clean it up a little bit, but I'm excited for that one. The open beta for Hell Let Loose was too laggy for me. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is I've heard some of the creators that did the open and closed invitation betas saying that it was really laggy, and a lot of the what do you call it? The foliage and the ground was not loading properly. Hitboxes were kind of getting wonky. Yeah, I'm hoping they polish it up and fix it nice. Oh, I love that engine starting up. For further development. Yeah, if they polish that up, that's going to be a sick game. I heard Hell Let Loose, the original Hell Let Loose, was really good, and I just never had a chance to play it. Now, I'm really excited for Kitten Space Agency, because I've seen a lot of their devlogs. It looks like they're doing really good work on that game. I hope, against all hope, that they don't screw this up. They have the chance to make the best space flight simulator game of all time. I'm just so curious to know why they went with kittens instead of some random alien that they could have made up. Like, somebody sat in a room and thought up the Kerbals, and now the Kerbals are a beloved entity in the universe. So I'm kind of curious to know why they went with kittens instead of anything else. I only stopped playing because I couldn't really get into a normal match with populated servers. Yeah, Armor Reforger was another one that I was really interested in, but the problem I have is if you rewind the clock to about 5 years ago, I used to do streams on Facebook, and I was pretty successful on Facebook. I had about 500 followers. I was monetized. I was making okay money, like nothing to live on, but I was making about $500 to $800 a month in donation and merch sales. But my entire Facebook was basically PvP games. Like, I played a ton of Warzone, like thousands of hours of Warzone, and I played a lot of Escape from Tarkov. And I thought about getting back into that space as a creator, but I got to a point where my gaming was no longer fun, and I don't want to be in that headspace again. Like, I don't want to dread waking up and going live because I'm gonna have to play, you know, what the hell? What the hell just happened here? Why did this happen here? Alright. Why is my guidance locked? Did you shut my guidance down? Or is it because I don't have signal? What is happening here? There we go. Alright. Alright, add a maneuver. That's set as target. I don't have... Oh, wait, I do. Why? I can't even tell how much I'm missing it by. Oh. It's because we don't have any more. Oh, man. Well, this one, we'll leave it and see if it does any science for us, I guess. The engine ran out of propellant. Alright. Cool. Let's go to the Space Center and see if we can't do... looks like we're going interplanetary. You boys ever been to Mexico? Yeehaw! Yeah, we ran out of propellant. I don't understand how. I need to... Maybe I just need to keep a better eye on those maneuvers. Alright, let's go build... Let's see if we can't build something to crude orbit. Alright. First of all, what is the research time on that? It's almost done. Let's get rid of the fairing for now. Let's get the Mercury capsule. How do we do this? What is this? Oh, that's our RCS tank. Okay. Let's set the root part to here. Oh, get rid of all that. Now we set the root part to here. Okay. Doobie-doo, boop, boop, boop. Now, before anything else. Oh, come on. Heat shield. Mercury heat shield. Okay, so we have the heat shield. Parachutes. How do I use this? That doesn't seem right. Alright. I really don't understand that. Okay, so this comes loaded with some batteries. Lithium hydroxide, I'm not sure what that's for. Oxygen, helium, HTP, and water. Do shielding. What's that? Oh. Okay. I kind of like the black and red on that. Use the cone one. Heat shield, parachutes, comms, camera, solar panels, batteries. Yes. The checklist. Alright, hold on. Let's get rid of these. Oh, that's way, way big. Curious. That's the one for it, I guess. What is this? All right. So does this have a parachute or no? It does not appear that has a Why is this under the parachute if it doesn't have a freaking parachute? Hold on, let's... This nose cone for the Mercury capsule includes the drogue chute and the main antenna. It has an attached node for a destabilizing flap. The latter might not accomplish much, but it's theorized to help self-orient a re-entering craft, and it's nice to have. Okay. And this is the Mercury main chute, so how does this all go together? This... how does this go? This is configure crew science. Okay, that's that. Or does it go like this? Well, that doesn't seem right. So this goes like that. That. Aw. Interesting. Mercury landing and control module. So maybe it goes like this. Then like that. I'd like to use all the parts necessary, but I'm not sure how this chute fits into all this. the Mercury A5D main parachute. Okay. So, is there another part that I'm missing for this? Maybe. Payload. A thrust plate. Hold on a minute. I didn't know I had this. Does that mean I can... Ooh. We're gonna play with that too. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at everything. Oh, that's for the Kerbals. Okay, hold on. We found a nose cone unit. So... Wait, how does this all fit together? Because that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right at all. What is this? Oh, it's the same thing. That's why it doesn't look right. I'm stupid. Alright, enough fiddling with this. Let's just use the parachutes that we have. So I imagine that fits on like that. I'm just so stupidly curious to know how this works. I mean, it looks cool. But how does that parachute fit in? That's the nose unit there. That is strange. Click on the nose cone again and open the reshoot configuration. Nose cone? I'm not seeing a reshoot configuration. I have antennas, active, toggle, recoloring GUI. I'm not seeing any reshoot configuration. I'm just telling you what Google tells me. Open the reshoot configuration. Okay, so if I put this, let's say right here. So let's try. Alright, we're just gonna go with the old-fashioned way. curious to know why this is listed under parachutes. That's so confusing to me. This is listed. Hold on. It has an attachment for a node. The capsule includes the drogue chute and the main antenna. So this is just a drogue chute. But I don't understand how... I don't understand where this is supposed to go is the problem. Look up the red Mercury hot image, I guess. Hold on. I forgot to spell Mercury. Alright, what do you got going on here? Alright.
We have the MDCAM nose unit. That contains a drag chute, for example. And even more interesting, remove that. You can see here the Mercury landing and control module, which provides, for example, RCS. But what I had so much, it took me so long to find that, and that is this parachute thingy here.
Alright, hold on. Oh, I need that on, that off. Okay, so do I stuff this down? Oh! You clever, clever gal. Alright, hold on. Hold on. He gets a thumbs up because that helped. I never would have looked down there. Okay. Yep, we found it with just a tiny bit of help. Alright, so now, what's our delta V? Oh, our delta V is not good. Oh, it's because the staging is off. Alright. So, first things first. Let's size this to count. Let's size that to count. Okay. Now let's fix the staging, close that. Alright, get rid of that. Okay, engines, ground clamps, booster release. What is this engine? I don't know how to set that up right now. So, that releases, then the Viking, RCS, move the parachutes up here for the moment. RCS down here. This down here. Right? There's still a problem somewhere. Oh. Put that up there for now. Alright, now we're getting more accurate readings here. Alright. Now we're getting some accuracy going on here. Refill for the G1. Okay, get rid of that. Alright. Let's see. I'm not trying to ignore chat right this second. Sorry if it feels like it. Alright, so engines fire, launch clamps release, side boosters fade, then that all sets off, then after that, this goes down here, then that fires. Then that releases. All right. All right. I think if we could squeeze just a tiny bit more delta V in here. Where to squeeze the DV from, though. Aerodynamics. No, it'd be. Would it be payload? Why is this massive? Alright, so that's gonna fit that. Well, I don't know. What if I take these and flip them? I'm hoping that these survive. If we could just squeeze the tiniest bit more delta V into this thing. 9899. That's really not helpful. What if I trim the batteries on this to 75? That really didn't do anything. Where can we save a little bit of delta V? Let's see if maybe switching out the Viking engine. That's 0.82, 0.77. What if we do Oh wow, that's considerably less. Alright, that's a lot less. Time out, hold on, I think I screwed this up. Go back up. Where's the Viking? So I'm using the Viking 4B. .692, 721, 0.8, 0.8, 0.7. I wish you could sort it by thrust. That would be super helpful. The G1 is what we're using on the top stage. That's the Aeronatic. Alright, hold on. What if those need ground support clamps? I don't really know why that's there. What if... Oh shit. I gotta go get the kids. Fill for the RD-111. Where's RD-111? RD-111. It is not here. Alright, I got like 5-10 minutes left, guys. Maybe... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We might be able to do this. Hold on. Let's take this out. Fuel tanks. Balloon. Where's my balloon? Balloon tank. Right? Oh, that's the Atlas. I don't want the Atlas. I just want regular balloon tank. Regular balloon tank. Let's try to make this fast. Okay, so then we take this engine, stick it on there. Choose tank type. It's balloon tank. Okay. Fill for the RD-111. Okay. Now, if I stick this up here. Oh yeah. We might be onto something now. Alright, so... Alright, guys. New launch complex. Build. Why did I turn off my Delta V stats? I don't know. So what if I take this down to about 8, whoops, and then push that up to about 2. It's kind of high for those stages. Yeah, it is. And it's kind of low for the lower stage. I don't know. It's 47, so let's get this out of the way. Do that. 50. Apply and preserve. What else? What else? What else? The thrust to weight ratio is 3.29. But I honestly think that this could very well do an orbit. What is this now? This is the RD 111 8D7. So, fill for the RD 111. That one. Add fuel fins. Try it. Make sure the staging is right. Oh, wow. Why is this thing like set to stupid heights? Alright. The top stage thrust to weight ratio is a little bit low, and that's a tiny bit concerning. That. The other thing I could do right now is I could do that. That makes the thrust to weight ratio at launch a lot more acceptable. Okay, so then that, then that. G7. Screw it. We're gonna do a simulate before I have to go. What time is it? I don't have to walk out for another 5 minutes. Ascent guidance, PVG, let's do, no, let's keep it at 200 by 200. Oh wait, we don't have a Kerbal. Shit. Oh, let's see if it'll cancel. Why is this up here? Go, engage autopilot. Now, another thing I just noticed is this entire thing is launching without a pilot. If we have a pilot, we could save a lot of weight by not having avionics, I think. So I think we could actually get 11,000 meters per second by shaving off the avionics. Really. Hello, San. We are just testing our first human-rated rocket to see if it can make orbit. This is no longer the gesture. This is the redstone. How is your week going so far? I know we don't usually stream on Wednesdays, but I figured we've done so much in KSP that we needed a live stream. Now, keep in mind, we're very close to getting the cross-feed fuel lines, so we can also start testing asparagus staging in RP1. Could you imagine if we achieve asparagus staging in 1963? NASA, you're just slacking. SpaceX, take some notes. Blue Origin, I'm your guy, man. Hire me. We're doing this with 1960s technology. I am a little bit concerned with the lack of altitude here, but it's our first simulated test flight. I don't think McJeb knows what he's doing right now. Kind of curious to know why he's this low so soon. Oh, he's going back up a little bit. That's nice. By the way, sorry for the word. It's alright. Oh, we failed that stage. Alright. Hold on, we can fix this by doing this. Alright, last try, and I have to go. Time warp it and see what happens. I'm so confused as to why McJeb is rolling us so hard so fast. Yes, that's what we are working on now. We have officially began lunar operations, and in the spirit of lunar operations, we're testing human space flight. Not going so hot right this second, but not everyone's a winner. Just so curious to know why McJeb decides to stay down in the atmosphere so long. Because I'm pretty sure we'd be cooking our Kerbal about now. Hot honey Kerbal. The launch was visible. Wahoo! Alright, McJeb, why are we cooking our Kerbals today? I really need you to be out of the atmosphere by now. No, we lost our parachute. Alright, guys, I gotta go. We will keep this up. No, I didn't forget the fairings. I left them off intentionally to save on weight, but that was apparently the bad idea. So, thank you guys so much for dropping in and joining. I will be back on Saturday. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Love you guys. I gotta go get the kids now, though.